What's up, guys? It is once again MP4podcast.com, and I'm playing Superman for the Sega Genesis. This is a really good side-scroller if you haven't picked it up, but I want to strongly say that this is an extremely super hard 2D side-scroller. So if you like a really hard challenge, this is a great game to pick up. However, if you don't like super hard games, do not get this game under any circumstances. It will drive you nuts. You can probably find a copy on eBay, maybe on Craigslist, old retro video game stores, and so on. But anyway, let's get on with the review of Man of Steel, the new Superman movie that just came out. And what I think of it, I thought it was a really good movie. I thought the writing was really strong. It didn't have any of those, stupid holes that some other sci-fi movies have. And let me just give you an example. Even though I love the newest the reboot of the new Star Trek movie, the one that came out in 2009. You remember the villain? I can't remember his name. The guy that played Bruce Banner in the 2004 Hulk movie. It was that was the guy that was the bad guy in the new Star Trek movie. He had this ship, and he had two weapons. He had like this super drill that would drill down to the core of a planet and destroy the planet. All right, and then he's going nuts because everybody's trying to break the drill so they can't destroy the planet. But then he had this red, liquid stuff, and he could just put a drop on the planet, and the whole planet would dissolve. So it didn't make any sense, you know what I mean? It just seemed like it had a huge hole. And when you analyze movies like this, they look kind of dumb. Now, I haven't really analyzed Superman, scene by scene or anything, but overall, the writing was really strong. It was on par. It makes sense for Superman. Now, there are a couple of things, I don't want to say I dislike them, but it seems it's a little different than other Supermans. So basically the way I look at it, I know DC has all these multiple universes. I look at this Superman as another universe of what happened to Clark Kent and how he became Superman. Now I'm going to try my best not to give out any spoilers, and if a thought comes in my mind, I'll tell you that it's going to be a spoiler. This Superman, is somewhat different than other Supermen when he becomes Superman. The way he goes about getting his suit is different than previous ways in how he became Superman. And in a lot of the other stories of Superman, the way he got his, the blue and red and yellow suit, it was Martha's Kent that made the suit. And one of the things about Superman is the old Superman, there's like a couple of millimeters of whatever he touches that it becomes strong like him. So, for example, Lois and Clark, that suit that he wears, that suit, if he takes it off, you can actually cut it with a pair of scissors, okay? But once he puts it on, there's a couple of millimeters of energy that comes off of him that makes whatever he wears super strong. Because there's no way it could be Kryptonian and then Martha Kent could sew it together for him. So that's how they do it like that. But he gets his suit in a different fashion in this movie. Also, what I really liked about this movie was General Zod. I think the way they went about General Zod was really smart. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you why General Zod is a complete asshole, but he's a really good asshole. Now, if you go to Superman 2, the one that came out in the 80s, he's just an asshole because he just wants to be an asshole. And that's all I'm going to really touch upon that. He, is like, why are you being such an asshole? Dude, what's up with you, man? It's like, this Superman movie was written really smartly. There are some things that have changed in this movie. There is no, Jimmy Olsen. There's no photographer, and it kind of does feel like the way things are going today with technology. I do know that a lot of the reporters, they now double as photographers as well because of digital cameras, and people aren't buying newspapers as much. So and also like TV reporters that in more of the smaller markets. Like if you live in Boston or New York or Los Angeles, there'll be a reporter and a cameraman. But a lot of times now, reporters will go out with a tripod. They'll put out, usually it's like a Panasonic or Sony, usually like a $5,000 camera, and they'll move the LCD screen, and they have to set up their own camera to do their own interviews and stuff like that when they go on location. So it did seem weird that there was no Jimmy Olsen, which I was a little bit disappointed in. Now I have to watch the movie again. Maybe he's at the end or something. I wasn't quite sure. But Lois was the photographer, so that's not really like a big thing. Some people have nitpicked that, there was a little product placement with Nikon. Yeah, I can see the Nikon. I don't know. I think it was like a Nikon D4 or whatever it was. It didn't bother me that much. I think the movie The Island had a lot more product placement. But in a way, that movie was kind of funny when you saw the Xbox product placement because it was like a virtual fighter. But that movie, I kind of liked the product placement because it was kind of funny in how they did it. But the Nikon one, it didn't bother me that much. The IHOP one didn't bother me that much as well. These movies are pretty expensive, so if they can get some extra money for putting these products in there, one or two of them, it's not going to bother me that much. If they do it a lot, it does bother me. But I do like the way they went about it in The Island, especially the Xbox fighting scene. This movie was a little bit weird in how Clark Kent was making decisions about his life that were a little bit different than previous Clark Kents, especially like from the old movie, the ones from the 80s and so on. Now, the Clark Kent that was in the Superman movie that was 2005, the guy that played Clark Kent in Superman was really good, but the story just sucked. Here they seem like they got everything right. They got the script right. They got the right actors. The writing was phenomenal. But anyway, guys, if you're new to my videos, please subscribe. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below.